Well, I'm not going to pretend like you're a stranger, but do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm R. Amen. What's up, Sean?
So this is actually the guy that actually brought me to Dallas, so pretty excited finally getting him on the microphone, on the camera, whatnot. So first we're going to be asking some dating questions, and we're going to go from there, all right?
Let's do it.
All right, so a pretty standard question. What is your number one red flag? Say you're out at a perfect restaurant, the atmosphere is perfect, it's magical, but during the conversation you found this out. So you got to get out of there. So what is that just number one red flag that it's over?
Oh, what screams out to me is bottle girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just extend that to anyone that works in the industry whatsoever because they're all sleeping with each other.
Yeah, industry people.
Yeah.
Which I was in the industry at one point, but
Yeah. You ever date anyone like while you're working there, or?
while I worked there, yeah.
Yeah, it's always kind of I don't know, a little iffy because there's always so much competition going on. Like I just don't want all that stress. I just want peace in my life at this point.
That's a good point. Yeah, and like you said, everyone's just with each other all the time, man.
So I gotta ask a question, but you're not single right now, right?
No, I have a girlfriend right now.
How long have you guys been dating?
We have been dating. How long has it been? It's been since December, so 4 months. But we dated for like 6 months prior.
Yeah. So when you met her, did you know you're gonna zero in on her? Or were you dating some other people at the time, kind of dating around?
No, so the first time I had no idea. I don't even think she had an idea. We were both kind of in a different phase of our life. And then I kind of grew a little, so we broke up, and then I grew not a little, I grew a lot. Just started hanging out with a lot, different association, some good mentors that kind of got my head on straight. And then we linked back up, and it's been a lot smoother this second time.
Nice. So on that first date, was I don't know if it was the most expensive date or the. Hold on, I gotta cut this. All right. So on that first date, what was it the most amount you've paid for? So it doesn't have to be the one with her, but just in general for your first date. What's the most amount of money you've ever spent on a first date?
Most amount of money on a first date? Maybe 150s, but that's pushing it.
Really? Yeah. You're more reasonable than I would expect.
Yeah, I'm not going to be spending a lot of money on a first date.
Okay.
Not nothing ridiculous.
Yeah.
A nice dinner is at most going to be 100.
Yeah. You're actually reassuring me because I've talked to so many people recently. They're like, yeah, I dropped $250. I dropped $1,000. I'm like, where are you going? They're like Windstar and stuff.
For a first date,
yeah
that's just I don't know, man. Because it's a nice dinner would be at 100, and then maybe drinks afterwards.
Yeah. What's your worst date experience you've ever been on?
My worst date experience.
I can tell you mine. What you're thinking?
Yeah, let me think about it.
All right, so it's actually here in Texas, so bad on you with Texas. I picked up this girl. It was off Tinder, I think. I picked her up. We went down to Fort Worth to meet up with my buddy. We went to this random bar, and she was like, hey, go get me some drinks. I'm like, okay. I go to the bar, big dummy. I pick up 2 or 3 drinks, and then I come back, and she's just gone. And then I'm looking around. The bartender's like, yeah, I'm sorry, buddy, but your girl says she has to bounce.
Oh, man. Okay, so maybe I thought of it while you told me that. So I linked up with this girl on it was a dating app, and this was in college. And I just invited her over to my place, and she looked nothing like her picture. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, I actually got to go to work. So I just pretended I had to go to work and kind of just kicked her out.
What's your best excuse for trying to get a girl out? Just hey, I gotta go. Have you ever done my family's dying or something, or oh, I gotta work up super early in the morning?
No, I don't do the family dying thing. But I will say, oh, I have to go to work, and I've gone to the extent of whenever I was serving, I put on my uniform and the apron, and I was like, oh, I just got called for the night shift.
Yeah. Did you calls?
Yeah, and just drive around the neighborhood one time.
Now, here's something I'm pushing back on, especially when you're constantly going on these first dates. I'm kind of pushing back on no longer paying for the first date. But how do you feel, as far as who pays for the first date and who pays for the second date and why?
Men always pay.
Men always pay?
Men always pay.
So do you go on a lot of first dates when you are single?
I wouldn't say a lot, but I did go on some, and I would be paying the first, yeah. Okay. Men always pay the first. I would even say second or third.
I think anything after the first, you're not going to get out of paying. The only thing I push for is the first date's kind of like an interview. I feel like we're both bringing something to it. Yeah. And then the second date's more of a reward of hey, I can't provide, but... Right.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, I would agree.
All right, let me see. What do you think... All right, so it's a 2-part question, but what do you think your most... what do you think your most personal trait is to other people? And what do you think your most personal trait, or most attractive trait, personally?
My most personable trait is... I think I can be very, I can express humility and be very humble. So that way people kind of like let their egos down. I like to think I can do that. And then what was the second question?
The second question: what do you think other people? So if no one, basically, the thing that from just looking at you, no one really knows your personality. What do you think your physically best trait is? I'd say the way you dress. That's biased.
I would probably say the way I dress, but
You dress sharp as hell.
it used to not be like that.
No,
No.
I need to take some tips from you.
Yeah. I mean, I had learned literally in the last like less than a year. I used to dress really bad. Yeah.
Let me see. I keep breaking my cheat sheet. What is? Oh, hold on, wait. I already did that. And whenever there's pauses like this, I just edit around it.
I do the same thing.
Yeah. All right. This is perfect. So, I get a lot of pushback on this one. When you're dating somebody, are they allowed to have opposite sex friends? So, is your girlfriend allowed to have male friends? And what extent are they allowed to be friends?
Okay, so this is an interesting question because it changes with time, right? So if you're like between like 18 and like I say 24, 25, I think you're allowed to have opposite sex friends.
Okay.
But as you get older and you like life gets more busy and like your relationship becomes more serious, you gotta start kicking those friends out because most male friends are not really friends. They're just waiting for their opportunity. And then as a guy, you really don't need to be having. You don't really need that many lady friends.
I mean, definitely as you get older, you only have so much time that you can spend. Like, time management's crazy.
Yeah.
That's typically why you want to be in a relationship with somebody that you actually get along with, because you're going to have to sacrifice some things. The only thing I push back on is a lot of people think it's insecure to let, you and your best friend, your girlfriend, are just hanging out playing Mario Kart Tuesday night, 8 p.m. I just think, like, even if you live in a really good neighborhood, you really shouldn't leave your doors open.
Yeah, I agree. Don't leave your doors locked. Don't leave your doors open. Keep it locked.
I agree. All right, let me see. Anything. All right. All right. So this is more from a female perspective, but I always like getting a male perspective.
Okay.
Would you rather date a rich older woman or a poor younger woman? So I'm talking about maybe like a 45-year-old defense attorney. She has her bag, or a Starbucks barista who's like 18 to 20.
Yeah, young poor.
Okay.
I think it might be different for a woman though. Yeah.
Typically, whenever I ask that question, because it kind of highlights what we look for in dating, women typically go for the more mature man. Even when I take out the money, they typically go for the older guy, and most men go for younger women.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. We're attracted. It's like opposites attract at this point.
Yeah. Now, when you're actually looking for somebody, does body count matter whatsoever?
Oh, it does.
It does.
Well, I don't. To be honest, I don't really want to know that information. You can kind of tell by that person's mannerism.
Yeah. That's also like talking about like the bottle service girl or the club girl. That typically kind of goes hand in hand. Like, it's just stresses that you might not necessarily want.
Yeah, and to kind of tag on top of that, their profession is to get tips out of males. Yeah. So a lot of the guys go there, and their job is to make sure that those guys are taken care of. So it's just that image that even if they're not, it's just an image I don't like to be. It is what it is.
We might move on to political personality. Yeah, all right. 2 more questions. All right. So, no, just one more question. Are you familiar with Andrew Tate?
Yeah.
What is your opinion of the manosphere in general and Andrew Tate?
I think there is about. So I like the 80-20 rule. So 80% of it makes sense. It's like logical. 20% of it is extreme just to get views.
Okay, yeah. So I always said, like, the guy seemed like he found a diagnosis, but he gave the wrong prescription for the illness, which is a lot of men were being told a lot of bad information. We should just be male feminist, kind of. Just a lot of bad information, but the solution is kind of to hate women and become a Romanian pimp. So that's the part I kind of push back on.
Yeah, I don't think he was trying to hate women and be a Romanian pimp. He actually talks about how women are like the most important creatures and that we should take care of them and provide and protect for them. And then kind of a funny other point, recently Dan Bilzerian came out and said that he's not happy sleeping with a bunch of women and that he thinks that he'd be much happier if he just had one woman in his life.
I do kind of feel that. Like, it's typically, again, kind of go peace of mind, but when you find one girl, it's just, you can go from like lots and lots of fun to just reassurance and someone you can actually confide in.
Yeah, just having that real connection, right? You want a partner in crime. You don't want just like a fling.
All right. What's your name, sir? Omar, my name is Sean, also Photosource Flex. So I got a few dating questions for you that you've already agreed to.
Okay.
So say you're out on a date right now at one of these lovely restaurants. The atmosphere is perfect, but you hear this and you got to hit the exit. Maybe you have to even hit the ghoster. So what is your number one red flag?
My number one red flag would be the signs of a gold digger.
That's a pretty good red flag. Have you any like bad experience with that in the past?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So who should pay for the first date and who should pay for the second date?
The man should pay for both of them.
Really? So are you single right now?
Yes, sir.
How often do you go on dates?
Very seldom.
Okay, but in the past, have you gone on like multiple, like 3 or 4 in a week?
No.
Okay, so that's why I did that in the past. So I was doing like 3 or 4 dates. So my new policy was, hey, first date is Dutch. Second date is all the dates after that. I always go.
New rule. Awesome. I just learned something.
Trying. I mean, until maybe my bank account improves.
Absolutely.
What's some other questions I got? Can you describe one of your worst date experiences? And I can tell you mine, which is I took a girl out. She completely ghosted me at the bar. She's like, oh, I'm going to use the bathroom, and she's gone. I was heartbroken. I really liked her.
My worst dating experience was she had said that she was on her way to the restaurant. I was down in Lincoln Prime. She never showed up.
I feel you. It's the worst. What's the most expensive date you have ever taken a girl on?
Whoa, $500.
Well, where'd you go?
This was in Arkansas. I'm originally from Arkansas. We went out and her homegirl was with us, and we got really, really trashy drunk.
Nice. This is one bar tab?
One bar tab.
Damn, you're paying everybody. You're like Conor McGregor in there.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm here with
Walter Bent.
Awesome. And what do you do for a living, Walter?
So we have a ranch called Outpost 76. We're in Sulphur Springs, Texas. We have a great YU program, F1 program, and 100% Black Angus program.
I love it. How much is someone in your profession probably pulling in a year?
Well, I'm in the sales part, so I would say about 150.
150. Awesome. What tip do you have for someone that's trying to maybe make more money in 2024?
Work hard, man. That's all it is. It's just grinding it, working hard, focusing on one thing, and trying to achieve your goals.
Awesome. I appreciate your time, Walter.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, so we continue to find ourselves downtown Frisco. We found 2 more Vict participants. So you've agreed to talk about some dating questions, right? So you guys are on a date, perfect atmosphere. The date's going great, but you just heard this. It's your number one red flag, and now you kind of might have to ghost. You have to Mission Impossible out of there. What is your number one red flag?
Red flag? Oh, I'm a girl's girl. I'm a girl's girl.
Conveniently.
I am a girl's girl. So if I feel like you are trying to hit on my girlfriends and make something uncomfortable between my network, you have a huge red flag.
So infidelity and being cheap is what we're getting.
Yeah.
We can say that.
If you lost your credit card, that's a red flag. On a
is
first
too.
date, yeah.
So if someone were to take you out on a date, this might be a red flag itself, but who should pay for the first and who should pay for that second date?
Him.
I am the one person who's probably an outlier of everything because I think that we should be Dutch and go 50-50 because there is that. Actually, if you do that, that creates. I actually want to create an app for this because if you
not until date number 6.
Here's the thing.
Let her monetize.
Let me talk.
6.
If you do that, you only want to go out with the person because you actually want to spend time with them, not because you want a free meal or
Okay,
etc.
hold on. But there are men out there looking for women to pay for their meals.
I am not that kind of girl, so that does not matter for me.
As a woman, I'm going to wait till date number 6 because I can pay for my meals.
Damn, 6 dates. Damn.
I'd rather set the bar right away and let them know that this is mutual and like I'm only going to spend time with you if I feel like you're worth my time.
Yeah.
And I would rather split the bill and keep things neutral because honestly, first of all, it's probably very attractive to them because they don't let that happen very often. And secondly, they're not going to impress me with taking me to nice places. I will only go to places that I want to go to.
I feel that. All right, so let's say this date went perfect and you guys now you're in a relationship. You're so happy. But are they allowed to hang out with people of the opposite sex? So is he allowed to have female friends? And what is the extent they're allowed to hang out?
I think it's all about communication.
Okay.
So I think it's absolutely appropriate because he had a life before I had a life with him.
Okay.
And I would never want to alter that.
Okay.
So as long as there is significant communication, like these are my friends, there should not be a problem.
What about you?
But if there's secrets, then that becomes a problem, unfortunately.
It depends on how long.
How long?
How long have we been together? Like, are we in 6 months?
1 year.
Been a year?
A year.
I'm going to have to be with him when he's with other girls.
Okay.
After a year.
I have
After
a lot
year.
of friends of the opposite sex.
After a year.
Let me give you a scenario because I'm gonna push back just a little bit. Say it's her and
disagree.
your male best friend, and they're hanging out playing Mario Kart at 8 o'clock on a Tuesday. Just the two of them. Is that okay?
No. After a year, no.
And there's no wrong answers.
In my opinion, it's totally appropriate because
Not after a year.
if they're not having an intimate relationship with this person, then
Yeah.
it's totally appropriate because we should all be good humans and love each other, and we should have friends of all sexes.
Now let's leave it on a positive note. What is the number one positive thing in a relationship that you look for? The thing that holds a relationship together, it binds us together. What is your number one thing that you need in a relationship?
Communication, because that creates safety and security.
Communication.
I appreciate you guys doing this. You guys are troopers. Thank you so much.